campus this time, Crisler Arena, Duke and Michigan. Battling once again, one of the great rivalries here in the 90s. Jim Nance along with Billy Packer. Duke with a 5-1 record, Michigan 6-2. And what do you expect to see in this matchup today?
Jim, I think we have a team that's got strength on the perimeter in Duke and a team that's got strength in the paint in Michigan. Let's see which one gets the balance.
Two young teams really trying to find themselves right now. With the lone senior who's made an impact is Chris Collins for Duke. What a season he's had. He's their leading scorer, top assist man, second in rebounds. There are the starting lineups with Price, Moore, Newton, Capel, and Collins. And then Michigan's lineup with 4 sophomores and a freshman. Scagliana, Gordon, and Kersey are the officials. Duke has won 6 straight against Michigan, and they have really feasted on the Big Ten lately, although we must add that Illinois, just a week ago, beat the Blue Devils back at Cameron.
First game that Duke had lost to an outside non-conference opponent in '95.
Now, that was a long streak at home, that streak.
Yes, it was.
It came to a close with Illinois winning by 10. ACO Baston gets Michigan off to a good start here.
Jim, we saw what we talked about in the paint. Michigan very strong and strong off the bench from the paint.
Chris Collins knocks down a 3.
Well, that's the storyline. The perimeter game against the inside the paint game. Both teams coming up well on their first possession.
He's averaging 16 a game and had 30 in a game against Iowa this year. Give Duke a tournament victory up in Alaska.
Good entry past that time to Taylor.
Reese Taylor, he's the top man for the Wolverines. Showing some outside form with that one.
Well, Jimmy's bulked up to 250 pounds, but it hasn't taken anything away from his ability to go ahead and shoot that ball as he steps out.
Collins will inbound. He is, again, a senior matched up against a freshman, Lewis Bullock, who has been really smooth for Michigan early. Coach Krzyzewski coming back with that win in Alaska. A very emotional tournament win for the Blue Devils early in the year.
It really was. I don't think that Mike expects a great deal out of this ball club in terms of what we normally see out of a Duke team, you know, a Final Four type contender. But certainly he had to be surprised taking that thing all the way to the championship and winning it over a tough Iowa team in Alaska. Travis
Conlon reaches in, commits the foul on Collins after Ricky Price had stolen the ball for Duke.
Michigan, Jim, has really turned the ball over a lot. I mean, they're dominating people off the boards, but they've already this year got 155 turnovers. That was 156. Only 119 assists. So you just can't win ball games solidly with turning that ball over that much.
What a senior year after a disappointing junior season that started with an injury on the first day of practice entering his junior year, Chris Collins. And he was hobbled that entire junior season.
Full court double team. Taylor does a nice job coming back. Another turnover.
Yep. They've had only one game, Billy, where they had more assists than turnovers. And they played 8 already, including making it to the preseason NIT Final Four before Arizona and Georgia Tech knocked them off.
And that's the case where Taylor, and we'll see Robert Traylor later, they like to help out against the press, but they've got to get that ball back in the hands of the guard.
Capel driving. What a rejection. Ahead to Ward, driving on the baseline.
There is not a player in college basketball that can run the floor any better than Ward. He kind of mystifies me in the fact that he has not become a super college player.
Only a sophomore, former National High School Player of the Year. He has been quite an enigma here at Michigan.
There's that famous double down by Michigan.
Yeah.
Handled well by Moore.
Price knocks down the jumper. 6-all.
Baston doing a good job getting position on Newton.
Moore came over to help out, and at last touched the leg of Baston.
Well, Newton's getting behind Baston as he did against Taylor. And it makes for an easy entry pass. If Michigan's going to get it down low that easily, Duke's going to be in trouble.
Steve Fisher said, we're going to beat Duke. We have to cut off the dribble drive baskets. And here, Duke turns it over.
Foul on Price. Probably a pretty good foul, too, because Michigan had the numbers going the other way.
Price has turned into the best stopper on this Duke team that always seems to have one player who really stands out as a great defensive player back through the years of, well, not that long ago, but the likes of Billy King and Tommy Amaker
and Grant Hill, three guys that won the IBA Corinthian Award as the best defensive player in the country. Can't get any better than that.
Baston in traffic draws the foul on Tony Moore, senior from Washington, D.C.
A mix-up between Moore and Newton on the inside. A good screen away here. You can see the screen. Baston comes in there. Newton doesn't go up front. Neither does Moore. Pick up a cheap foul.
We haven't seen Bullock, number 22 for Michigan, touch it very often in the opening minutes. He's a scorer, though.
Ward's got 3 inches on Capel on the inside. Let's see if he posts up a little bit more. He likes to play on the perimeter, but today he should be posting up hard. Good solid screen inside.
Newton this time. Called underneath. Greg Newton, junior center from Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Jim, one of the things that Mike Krzyzewski really has to be worried about in the case of Newton, against Illinois, he didn't score. Against Indiana, he got 1. His biggest schemes have been against opponents not quite of that strength. Today, he's not out of the box very well.
Good hustle by Moore. Here comes Duke.
4th turnover for Michigan.
Way out. Collins 3. 2-5. Rebound to Price. Duke will reset.
You're really looking at a team with 3 guards and 2 forwards. No center for Duke.
Ricky Price, the sophomore. Carson, California. Duke 8-6.
Jimmy Wright Bullock has got him getting himself in a position to score a little bit. There's a foul by Baston setting up, and Newton is hurt.
Newton will stay in, but a freshman and an impact freshman at that, Robert Traylor, 6'8", 300-pounder, coming in for the Wolverines. He wears that size 19 shoe. They also have brought in Dugan Fife, who started 65 games in a row at one point during his Michigan career, but now coming off the bench as the senior captain.
Duke goes a little 1-4.
Moore doubled up. Gonzalski, freshman for Duke, number 13.
Jim, one of the things that any team that plays Michigan doubles down every time the ball goes in the low post. You've got to almost have an offensive set. As soon as it goes inside, people screening away.
Baston on the drive. So Newton was taken out of the game and replaced by freshman center Taman Domzalski from Leamington, New Mexico.
Good switch that time by Baston.
2 big freshmen matched up inside with Domzalski and Traylor. Price has it stripped away. Conlon with Collins coming over.
Chris Collins really should have come over, Jim, and got a better angle on that. You know, he gave Conlon a straight shot into the basket. Push off. Fife's doing a good job.
Capel launches the 3. Outside.
He's a guy, Jim, that, you know, coaches say, I don't need shooters, I need makers. He looks good on his shot. He just doesn't make them from outside.
He just needs a breakthrough game. You just keep waiting for it to happen. Who knows, maybe it'll be today.
He's now 5 for 26 from 3.
And look at Baston come in for a second block.
That's his 3rd great defensive help today.
Michigan has hit all 5 of his shots from the floor, but has committed 5 turnovers. Game tied at 10. Packer, Maceo Baston with 4 points and 2 blocks.
And Jim, a couple other great defensive maneuvers. Now he's listed at 6'9", but he plays every bit a 7-footer inside as a shot blocker.
Steve Wojciechowski getting action. He has a tender back, and
there's the double team. Freshman has a hard time recognizing what's happening to him down low.
Newton doubled up, but he traveled first. So let's reset the players on the floor for Duke. They have Domzalski and Newton, two big guys inside, with Capel and Carmen Wallace now in 34, and Steve Wojciechowski, who's now manning the ball. For Michigan, Conlon, Taylor, Traylor, Fife, and Alfred White, a freshman, number 44.
Nice job by Wallace coming over to help out. Both teams switching very well in their help defense.
Capel gets the baseline. Underneath, Newton for the lay-in.
There's that dribble penetration, Jim. Too easy to get that ball down inside like that. Let's see. Domzalski playing down inside on Traylor. We're going to see some pushing and body banging down there with those two.
He slipped right out of his shoe.
Yep. Well, a lot of people making a move in that club. Arizona up in the top, still undefeated, playing very, very well. Santa Clara to start off the season knocking off the UCLA, but expect them to be there all year long.
But Arizona with that run through the NIT, unranked before the year. Domzalski and double triple. A lot of turnovers here early as Lewis Bullock comes back in for Michigan.
Of course, Domzalski considered the best high school prospect ever out of New Mexico. Traylor, the player of the year in the state of Michigan.
So Conlon sits as Bullock now brings the ball up.
Bullock has not gotten off a shot yet. Nice little rub-off move there. Bullock and White. Here he goes. Got fouled. I think he got fouled. And he's right. He's talking to the official, but he got fouled on the arm. Too pure a shooter to throw up an air ball from that distance without getting hit. Full court pressure here, man-to-man.
The foul on Traylor.
Good help by Newton to come back. There's the double team.
Newton spotted it, tried to get it back out, but draws a foul. The second one, and a quick one on Traylor.
Jim, a post man against Michigan's got to recognize as soon as he touches the ball, he should think opposite right away, because there's going to become an opposite help for the double team. There'll be somebody open for the jump shot.
Newton travels. Getting really sloppy here.
A lot of turnovers. Both of these teams having problems in that area. When's the last time you thought that Duke and Michigan would come into a ball game with both had more turnovers than assists on the year?
It's been 13 already in this game. 6 by Duke, 7 by Michigan. Traylor got it over to Taylor.
Traylor has that unusual combination, like a Corliss Williamson, like a Charles Barkley, guys with big, huge, strong bodies that have very soft hands. He's an excellent passer, can really create on the inside. Bothered by a sore ankle, wasn't able to work out yesterday at all, but looks like he's pretty good shape there today, Jim. He's moving a lot better than he was yesterday.
Well, last move was pretty nifty.
Yep.
Taylor to the line, but you compared him to Corliss Williamson. He's a lot bigger than Corliss.
He is. He's a huge body out there. I mean, you're talking about a 300-pounder, but he's got soft hands, and he has great imagination when he gets the ball in the low post. And free throw shooting, Jim. Really, Michigan having all kinds of problems. Just 57% on the year as a team.
Taylor knocks down 2 to tie it at 12.
And they're going to go to the line a lot because they've got good inside movement. So their big guys are going to have to learn how to hit some.
Wojciechowski in trouble. Newton, nice move. A little fake, and it worked.
Yep. Ineligible for the last 3-4 games last year. He's come back and he's doing a solid job inside.
Beautiful. Right back to Baston. That's a little experience setting up that one.
Terrific move by both Newton and Baston. We'll see. Here's Wojciechowski setting through the double team. Now watch this. A little fake. Looks one way. Freezes Baston, and then we go down the other end. Beautiful pass inside. Great pump fake, and there you go again. 6'9", but really plays at 7 feet. Very creative move.
Three-point play. Steve Fisher's team in front by 1, 15-14.
Michigan stays in the press.
Tony Moore left open underneath, and Collins spotted him from midcourt.
Should never happen there. Taylor didn't realize a man behind him. Threw right over the press for an easy 2.
There's Bullock.
Bullock, we know what he can do offensively, but in watching him, particularly the other night against LSU, he showed me he can be an outstanding defender as well. Talk about stop and dribble penetration. He did it right there.
Herman Wallace outside. Three-pointer. Duke in front, 19-17.
Wallace, the guy with great leaping ability. We haven't seen it yet today, but he can get up in the air.
White, no-look pass to Baston.
You can see that these guys will give it up to a teammate. There's excellent interior passing on this Michigan club, and in time, as they get more experience, I think they're going to cut down on those turnovers. And there's the double team. He didn't realize there's a man opposite. Double team again, a man opposite.
Wallace, no call on the contact. Michigan comes out in a sprint. White. Dugan over the back. Dugan fight.
White got caught up in the air that time, Jim, and thought he had an open shot. The defender got there just at the last second.
An even battle. Sloppy at times, but some good action, too. 19-19, first half.
We're 93, back up to 28, and then, of course, last year, 13 wins, 18 losses. The 18 losses, Jim, the most in the school's history. And a team, Jim, remember, we had in December that we thought really was going to be a tough out in March, but everything fell apart for it. Lost a lot of close games, 10 games where they were right in it, could have won, but Cherokee Parks, Eric Meek and company just couldn't pull it off.
Look at Ward make the steal, go behind the back to get away from the defenders. Yeah, we saw them beat Illinois at the United Center in Chicago early, and they beat Michigan early in the year. Again, 6 straight times they've beaten the Wolverines. As Taylor for 2.
Beautiful elevation on that jumper. He holds it way above his head, tough to block. With that 250 pounds and can create a lot of room for himself. Ward on Price. Interesting matchup here.
Taylor reached in on that entry pass. Forced to steal. Bullock. Newton going up high and grabbing it with 2 hands.
How about that hesitation dribble by Bullock? Comes that double team. Look opposite Newton. Too late.
Bullock fouled by Collins.
It's amazing, Jim, isn't it? You know, the NBA, of course, has perfected both offensively and defensively to double down. But in the case of the college players, Michigan defensively way ahead of other offenses. And if you were in the Big Ten, you'd almost construct a double-down offense as opposed to a double-down defense, because you know that's what Michigan's going to do. Bullock's really playing under control. There's good offensive threat.
Aston with the fake. Over to Ward. To Ron Ward with his second basket.
Again, great interior passing. Very unselfish play by the big guys from Michigan. Duke operating out of that 1-4 just about all the time.
Back to Collins, +1. Newton and Collins teaming up nicely on that one.
And there again, now Newton realizes, here comes the double team, boom, hits the free man right away. In that case, Collins moving without the ball. Normally, if you take your man on the baseline like that, Bullock would have been in there for a triple team with just enough spacing to get the pass off.
Chris's father, Doug, the coach here, the Detroit Pistons in this area. Unfortunately, the Pistons on a West Coast swing, and a couple of big wins there for Coach Doug with an overtime victory last night over Golden State. They won 2 straight on the road.
He saw a lot of Grant Hill when he was at Duke. Now he sees him every night coaching him.
22nd timeout called by Michigan. Welcome all of you who've been watching the Cincinnati-Arkansas game to Crisler Arena, sold out. For one of the great rivalries of the 90s in college basketball, Michigan and Duke, with Duke having won the last 6 encounters.
Jim, it seems like only yesterday we were sitting at this very spot seeing the Fab Five come out. You know, Weber with his game face on, Christian Laettner with his face on. Great overtime matchup.
That was the coming out party, really, for the Fab Five, the freshmen. It was 4 years ago this weekend.
Right. And we knew that day that they were going to be something special. Didn't realize they're going to meet again in the NCAA tournament, but that was quite a ball.
Maurice Taylor hits the basket. He has 8 for Michigan, and the Wolverines lead by 3. Yeah, they would meet in that 92 final with Duke winning 71-51.
Right, 20-point margin, biggest one in this storied 90s rivalry.
Conlon with the hack. UMass and Boston College in a thriller, and UMass pulling away late.
Bobby Huggins' club, Jim, nationally, not yet getting a lot of credit, but putting the hurt on Arkansas, and that's after playing, was that their 3rd game in 3 days?
48 hours.
Yeah.
1-1.
Of course, we remember in the Final Four with Cincinnati, Nick Van Exel and company, so don't be surprised to see that club make quite a move. And, you know, Jim, I think back at that game, I think of Bobby Hurley. I mean, he really was the nemesis for Michigan in all these games. He played almost every minute of every one of those games they went against in that overtime. Remember, he'd fall to the floor.
Yeah, he was hurt. He came up, scraped himself off the floor, and they won that one, I think, 88-85. Taylor again. Boy, he's showing some kind of outside shot here today.
He really is. Hurley played 121 minutes of 125 minutes in those 3 wins against Michigan.
Duke gets out of a jam right there. Newton inside, and the big center has 6.
Newton doing a good job down in the low post. He's outweighed on the inside, but holding his own.
You mentioned he was 0 for 5 against Illinois, 0 for 3 from the field against Indiana. And another Wolverine turnover.
Good idea, bad execution that time.
So Michigan and Duke, no one's really pulled away at any time. The Wolverines lead that incredible stretch here the last 48 hours, including a win today against Arkansas. Villanova off to its best start in 10 years. How about the 2 Bay Area teams, top 25?
Well, you know, they are in the top 25. You got Cal coming right in behind them. I was very surprised, however, Jim, at Stanford's play against North Carolina down in Charlotte last weekend. North Carolina realized is playing very well, but Stanford, with that experience, I would have expected much better.
Oh, Newton.
Got to catch it before you put it away, right? We could see it. He was looking at the rim, and the ball was not yet to his hand.
Duke now with 10 turnovers. And we're not quite 13 minutes into the game. Both teams with high field goal percentages.
And that's surprising because Michigan has been holding opponents to 38% this year.
Trailer fade away.
Tough shot.
Taylor on the foul. Now with 12.
Now the Big Ten freshman of the year having a great ball game here today. Last year in Duke's win over Michigan, Cherokee Parks and Eric Meek kind of controlled things inside with 16 and 11 points respectively. Today it's Michigan's inside game that's doing it.
Collins on the penetration, strikes it home.
Ward should have stepped on over there, prevented that penetration.
Duke can fight.
Jim, he had a problem down at LSU. He lost the toenail on his big toe, and it really caused him a lot of pain, but The only pain that he's suffering today is that he's putting on Duke.
Collins, 3.
Trying to do too much. Not a good shot.
Michigan looking for a little run here.
They're wide open inside. They've got to let him touch the ball. There he is.
Newton defending. And Duke escapes.
Will he pull down a backboard someday, Jim?
Maybe someday soon. That one almost, that right there came down.
Off to the run-in. There's Ward with that great speed.
Block on Capel.
Here's Fife going inside. Now, you know he's throwing up a prayer right here. No chance to go in, but watch Taylor again. He's been all over the floor today, elevates on up, puts it away. Terrific first half.
Near the conclusion of this game, we'll be selecting a genuine Chevrolet most valuable player from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $5.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
And, Jim, when you talk about recruiting lists and things of this nature, Taylor, coming out of high school, was the 3rd highest vote getter in Mr. Basketball in Michigan, behind Conlon, Travis, who's playing out here today, and Willie Mitchell, who normally would be playing, but had arthroscopic knee surgery earlier this week. He's going to be out 4 to 5 weeks, I guess.
This man was Mr. Basketball USA. Right. He hits 1 of 2. Full court pressure.
Has not really stopped Duke at all today, but it is taken away an opportunity for him to get off the quick perimeter shot.
Capel.
Beautiful elevation on that shot.
Ward on the drive. Batson. And to the line.
He made that with some pain. Grabbed the rebound, gave up his body, and put it back up. Here's a good change off the pass by Ward. He goes inside. Domzowski holds his ground, and there's Baston going right up over the top of Wallace.
Took an elbow that time.
There's Ward going inside. Great elevation, and so far, with Baston and Taylor, Michigan has been able to control that paint as we anticipated.
Well, consider that Taylor has 14. Baston going for a three-point play that would give him 12. There you go, 26 of Michigan's 35.
Well, that's exactly the number of points that Parks and Meeks had last year against them, so they have reversed it with more power inside.
Here's Conlon on the reach-in. And that's number 3 on Travis Conlon. Next on the CBS Sports Show, it's Fire on Ice. We preview the Canadian Professional Skating Championships, plus the ice dance competition from the Riders Ladies Skating Championship. You can also strap on the helmet for the Fort Taurus College Football Today. That's next on the CBS Sports Show.
Of course, Jeff had an opportunity to play against his father in their opening game this year. His dad now at ODU, a club that don't be surprised to see back in the NCAA tournament this year. Remember the incredible opening round win they had over Villanova last year.
Triple overtime.
Right.
Jeff had 12 points, 5 assists in that victory up in Alaska.
Eliminated my pick for the Final Four in the very first round of the tournament, that being Villanova. I take my chances this year.
That's right.
But nobody's gotten the better of them yet this year.
Well, and I'm sure they're doing nothing but building off of that negative experience in the first round. It's something that will linger through the whole season until we get to March. Talk about young teams. No juniors to even talk about.
But, Jim, when you think of the great named programs in America, you know, UCLA's, the Indianas, the North Carolinas, the Dukes, the Michigans. When you go up and down the roster of those clubs, really void of junior and senior leadership, which is very, very strange.
Lob it across, Alfred White.
Just dominating things in the paint, something that Mike Krzyzewski, who's up off the bench right now, was worried about. Trying to come back with more. Mike has been rather quiet today.
That was a call there, Billy, on Taman Domzalski, a big body that Duke is in short supply, and he has 3 fouls.
Well, look at how small Duke is right now. Carmen Wallace is the second biggest guy out there. He's a short 6'5", without any weight. So he's going to be having to get up off the air right now.
Albert White.
Michigan's shooting pretty well from the foul line, Jim, considering how much trouble they've had coming into this ball game.
6 out of 8 as a team, and 7 out of 9. Michigan by 6.
And they pick up full court again. Again, what this full court is doing, it's taking away Duke's opportunity to get the ball down the court quickly, setting up a quick perimeter jump shot. Everything's been contested. And Duke really void of any inside offensive power.
Capel. And Price. Duke fighting hard. Tony Moore will go to the line for a couple. Talk about the 2 winningest coaches, active coaches by percentage in the NCAA tournament. Krzyzewski is 39-9 in the NCAA tournament.
11 tournaments he's been in. Steve Fisher's been in 6. And look at that. How about right behind there? Pacino, Knight, and Williams all tied at 71 for Bob Knight with more appearances than either of the other two. But incredible when you think that's the leading competition you could find when you have 80% of the games with wins. Unbelievable. Those are the active coaches, by the way.
4 minutes to go, first half. Michigan 37-32. Taylor, lead it in, take it away.
That's good defense that time by Tony Moore. But a very nice offensive set by Michigan. You'll see right here, there was a rub-off by Fife, and Taylor just went in there. Moore held his ground. You got the verticality rule right here. Look at that. Moore has every bit the right to the space above his head. Taylor pushed him to the floor. Excellent interpretation of the rule there. Duke really hesitant to go to Wallace down inside.
Collins with 11 points, leading Duke. Collins open in the corner now. He moves out of there. And comes Price.
That was a great defensive sequence by the University of Michigan. You just can't play any better on the perimeter than that.
Up to date on all the scores and highlights from around the country.
Jim, Mike Krzyzewski sitting over there hoping he can get through the next 3:32 without Newton or Domzalski coming back into the ball game. So he's very small inside, setting up what looks like a little zone here. Let's see if he goes zone. Yep, sure did. It looks like a little box. It's a box and one on Bullock. Nice little move here by Mike Krzyzewski. Let's see how they adjust.
Well, Price is the man guarding Bullock. Baston. Well, they waited till 3 seconds on the shot clock, and Maceo Baston with 14 now.
Well, you know Fife is not going to shoot the ball, so why would, let him have the shot out in the wing? That's what happened is Moore came way out to guard a man that you know is not going to take the shot in that case.
Collins, don't give him the open shot. Three-pointer. He has 14 at the other end.
Chris Collins, big game against Indiana, big game against Iowa, now a big game against Michigan.
Albert White with a 3 at the other end.
Up to that point, he was 2 for 11 on the year for 3.
Duke ball. You talk about Collins having big games against the Big Ten. Well, he went to high school in Big Ten territory, Northbrook, Illinois. And his sister is a high school senior, and she's being heavily recruited by some Division I schools. His sister, Kelly.
Holding. Now, that's a makeup call there. And Collins did a pretty good job letting the referees know that he thought he got fouled on that last defensive play by Fife. The referee remembered it, gave him credit. Right now, however, though, Jim, down 7. These are critical free throws for Duke University because with 2 minutes to go, your big men sitting on the bench, Michigan could get a double-figure run here.
He'll shoot 2 because of the double bonus. Now both teams, in fact, have committed 10 fouls to the rest of the half.
And when you talk about runs, I'll never forget watching last year in Cameron Indoor Stadium where Michigan had a 24-0 run against Duke.
Incredible.
I've never seen anything like that in that arena in my lifetime.
Wallace all over Baston. Good D.
Well, they got out of that box and won in a hurry, just one time down the floor. Back to man-to-man.
Armin Wallace comes out of the pack.
Could get scary. He's not a guy you want leading the break.
Well, next week, Billy, we saw Kansas storm back last week against UCLA. And next Saturday, they'll be at Kemper Arena. And Indiana will be coming in. Indiana and Kansas.
Tough shot.
Oh, hook shot.
Against the double team.
Tony Moore. 42-38. Duke hanging tough.
Nice play by Collins. A great anticipation.
And the Devils can cut into that lead some more.
Not a good pass.
Albert White out.
Looking for the lob.
Bullock keeps it instead. Soft touch.
And Bullock that entire time was looking to pass rather than shoot. Great credit to his game that he was able to get it back under control. These two guys both won the McDonald's three-point shooting contest in high school. Bullock and Collins.
Price got way up for that jumper. 1 minute to go in the half. 44-40 Michigan.
Well, right now you want to get it up and get a quick shot off if you could. Maybe you get another possession back.
Bullock. Charge.
Huge call. Duke with an opportunity to go down, take one good solid shot. Mike Krzyzewski wanting to make absolutely sure this young team knows what he wants to do in this last 35 seconds. So he takes advantage of the new 20-second timeout rule. Excellent coaching strategy there.
How do you like the 20-second timeout rule?
Well, I think it's good, and particularly for a reason like this. I don't think that any coach, unless his team has got a tremendous run going, shouldn't take advantage of it because you can't carry it over into the second half.
Scores and highlights coming up with Pat back in our New York studio at the half.
Jim standing over on the sidelines, of course, another reason that Duke is shorthanded. Trajan Langdon over there, who will not play this year. Tough break for that young man who was injured in the Junior World Championships and has such a strange injury. He just can't even, not only will he not be able to play, it's going to take a while for him to heal to be able to get back into any kind of training condition.
It's a freak knee injury. No break and no ligament damage, but he'll take the year as a redshirt. Take a redshirt year. He was their #3 scorer last year as a freshman.
So Meek, Parks, and Langdon all out of there. 1, 2, 3 in scoring.
Collins too fast in his third block here in the half. You know, they really wanted Meek to take a redshirt year last year, and certainly could have bolstered this lineup, 95-96.
Here's Ward coming over to help out Baston again. It's his 4th block of the half. So many good defensive plays.
Ward, will they pull it out?
He should.
25 seconds to go in the half.
Senior holds it up. Let's see if he's going to take it, go 1-4, and let Bullock take it down inside by himself. I don't know why he used his dribble there.
Fife with 8 seconds.
He's going to look to pass to somebody. There it is.
Bullock on the baseline. Bullock will take the shot. They didn't get the shot they really wanted. Halftime in Crisler Arena with Michigan leading 44-40. Maurice Taylor with 14. ACO Baston has 14. 44-40, Wolverines. Pat O'Brien coming up with at the half.
Well, if I've ever done a game, Jim, where two teams at halftime were shooting over 62%.
And look at the turnovers. Duke with 14, Michigan with 12. How about this for a stat? Maurice Taylor and Maceo Baston each 6 of 6 from the field. 12 for 12 combined.
There was Baston, another great help on defense. Cut off Price's dribble penetration.
There's Collins on the drive. No one shut him off that time, Billy.
Hey, let's talk about Collins stepping up, Jim. I would never have anticipated, coming off the terrible year that he had last year, that this young man would step up the way he has. He's playing really solid basketball.
He has 17 points.
Great decisions. He's taking the big shots for his team. He's playing very composed. Really playing well.
Foul on Tony Moore.
There's Collins going down inside, puts his head down. Baston can't get there one of the few times today, and there he is, 16 points, 5 assists, 4.2 rebounds. Those are really solid averages and showing great leadership for a very young team.
Michigan turns it over. Those numbers for Collins, Billy. Top scorer, top assist man, #2 rebounder.
It brings back some thoughts of the University of Arkansas. The guards.
Corey Beck.
Yep, leading rebounders on the team.
Duke 5-1 on the year. It's only lost to Illinois. Michigan 6-2. Kickball with a 3, and Duke comes out with the first 5 to take the lead.
Boy, that was a tough shot. Collins is a pretty solid defender. Put it right over him.
Michigan now 14 turnover.
And Mike Krzyzewski, Jim, at the end of the half, remember we talked at 3 minutes, he had all his size sitting down on the bench. He really was able to dodge a bullet there and stay in the ball game. Michigan had a chance to put it away, I thought, get a double-digit lead, but couldn't do it.
Capel, can he do it twice?
Did it twice because that's too long a pass for Michigan to let go.
Suddenly, Duke with a 4-point lead, matching its largest of the game.
Turnaround jumper.
You got it. That's his first miss. Baston still perfect.
Those arms just seem to go forever.
Baston with a career high, 16. Capel.
Jim, the guy that he reminds me of a lot inside is Sam Perkins. Remember when he played at North Carolina and those long arms, and all of a sudden he'd reach into the pack, pull it on out of there. Tim Duncan at Wake Forest got the long arms too. Great advantage.
White comes in for Bullitt. And Ward is out also. Duke and Fife in.
There's Taylor again, using that extra 15 or 20 pounds that he put on, shocks more with the body, upper body, and then goes ahead and gets room for the shot. Now watch him right here. He'll shock more a little bit with the body, see it, and then he bounces away to create that space he needs for the turnaround jumper. Tough to defend. Right there. Boom. Powerful man with a soft touch.
17 for Taylor. It's the third personal foul on Tony Moore.
And Michigan shooting free throws very well today.
Wolverines back in front by a point, 49-48.
Fife comes in for a little defensive work on Collins. There's the triple team inside. No place for Moore to go.
White. Collins comes out of there. Talking about his rebounding. Wouldn't expect it. Hit only 6'3".
I don't know what more of a lesson Moore needs, but when you touch the ball in the low post, you've got to become a passer, not a scorer against this team.
Collins launching, hitting, and he now has 20.
Playing with supreme confidence. He and Capel looking for each other very well on the perimeter. He's looking to pass, not to shoot.
Baston. He is only 8 for 8 from the field.
Now that young man keeps improving each and every game. He's going to be an outstanding player before he gets out of here.
51 all. Newton. Bush on Michigan. Taylor. Duke is 6 out of 9 from three-point land, and they've hit all 3 of them in this half. 2 by Capel, this one by Collins.
Look at how squared up he is in the shot. Excellent follow-through.
That's form.
Yep.
His father started alongside Julius Erving with the 76ers, then coached Michael Jordan, now coaches Grant Hill. Chris used to be a ball boy when he was a youngster, and his dad was coaching the Bulls, but he learned, he said, the most from John Paxson.
You know,
and that looked a lot like Paxson right there.
It sure did. And not to take anything away from Doug, but you know what, Jim? Fathers have a tough time when they go to watch their son play every game, and I'm not so sure it isn't better for Chris now to have some room to be himself at the games and not have his dad there at every ball game. Sometimes that becomes a little bit too tough to handle.
Well, he says his father never intruded on the coaching.
Well, it didn't affect Grant Hill any, but sometimes, you know, it can be a factor. But he certainly is playing well now.
Doug will only see one game this year. That's in March against North Carolina. Taylor.
That move. Attacking the paint. And this is all being done without Trailer in the ballgame. Just too much interior power.
It's another great fight between these two. Tied at 51. Under 16 minutes to go. Kentucky, Georgetown, Memphis, Mississippi State, UConn, and Wake.
Jim, that Massachusetts has played, a lot of people have played very difficult schedules, but they've taken on all comers, and they seem to come back.
Trailer. It's another try.
That's about what? The 8th or 9th putback for Michigan in this sequence.
Taylor finally takes control.
Incredible offensive board play by Michigan.
We already had Maceo Bastion with a career high. Taylor very well could be on his way also. 23 is his career number. He has 19 already. Capel sets it up. Price, open 3. Good ball.
Basically, what you have on the floor right now is Wallace, as I said, a short 6'5", as the second rebounder for Duke, and it's just not enough. Trailer up. Let's try it again. Trailer up. Let's try it again. Taylor up. Let's try it again. Just too much power inside.
Capel got caught. Price. This team can fill it up from the perimeter.
Well, we talked about it. Perimeter against the paint. And so far, the paint having a little bit of advantage when it gets down on their end, but Duke hanging in there with great perimeter shooting.
Taylor, 21 points. Put Michigan back in front by 1, 55-54.
Showed you he can put it on the floor as well. Loves to face up. Mike Krzyzewski trying to steal some minutes with Wallace here. Good reach.
Fight. Good dribble to get away from Collins. And Newton.
Got to think about stamina a little bit here, too. Michigan going to their bench very well today. Duke trying all their perimeter guys to play the entire time. And Taylor wanted that one for a touchdown, huh? Thought he was a Heisman candidate.
Well, they had one on campus a few years ago with Desmond Howard.
You remember when he came out and did his little Heisman pose for us that year?
That's right, visited with us.
Yep. Sure did.
So Newton out.
And Jim,
this is really a small Duke lineup now, Billy.
Yep, it is. Wallace and Moore out there.
Moore, the biggest player on the floor at 6'7" for the Devils.
Domzalski sitting down, had foul trouble, but Mike Krzyzewski's going to have to come back with him just to get some minutes out of him.
Capel.
Oh, what a spin move.
Price.
Wow. Terrific. You see that California connection again next week in Kansas. And here's Price, the California connection for Duke.
Boy. We haven't had a chance to see him today because Ricky Price has been all over him, but Bullock buries a three.
Well, what I like about him is he's kept his composure, Jim. He hadn't forced anything. I thought Wallace was thinking about putting that one up. There he goes.
Drive. That's exactly what he was thinking about.
He exploded to the basket.
Harmon Wallace, 6'5" junior from Wilmington, Delaware. Taylor gives it up to Traylor.
Collins was really like a fly on his back there. No way to draw the charge. 300 pounds against about 180.
You remember what Steve Fisher was telling us yesterday, though, when we visited with him, that as big as Robert Traylor is, he still isn't going out quite as strong with his shot as we want him to eventually get to. He's been shooting a lot of fadeaways, and
Steve Fisher hasn't tried to draw a charge on it.
Well, we saw it a little bit ago when he had the two chances inside. Mary's underneath battling. Situation arrow to Michigan.
Michigan just banging everybody in the boards. Now, what Duke might try to do, Jim, is to start sending a man long to prevent Michigan from putting so many guys on the glass and try to get a couple of breakaways. And Michigan now just sending all their big guys right in on the board. Quick feet for the big 300-pounder. Beautiful fake.
He's warming up.
Beautiful fake.
9 for Sweet Lou as they already now have a favorite call for him here.
Set the all-time Capital Classic scoring record with 40 points. He's got a beautiful offensive game and really surprising as a defender as well.
Whoa, he faked out Traylor, got him to leave his feet.
That was
set up an open jumper.
Great offensive play. Collins not as quick as Baston, who probably could have come from behind to block that one.
Bullock. Traylor tip. Traylor this time.
Too big.
Yes.
He's too big, too strong. And takes up so much room, Jim. Not that he's going so high off the ground, but look at him. Look at all the room there is between he and any other body. So wide.
Big changes in the Duke lineup. They bring in Wojciechowski, who's been lying down on the floor, stretching out his back. Newton returns along with Domzalski.
And Jim, even with Willie Mitchell down, this is a deep front line that Michigan has out there. And off the bench this year, Michigan's getting 26 points and 17 rebounds. Their opponents only getting 14 points and 8 rebounds. So you can see the dominance this bench has had. And today, of course, it's figuring in. Newton's in the lane. Now, why would you step in the lane against a bad free throw shooter?
Michigan 63. Duke 60. Michigan ranked 22nd. It's been a great battle. Michigan now in front 63-60. Jim Nance with Billy Packer. And Billy, some of your thoughts here now as Michigan saw Duke come out strong for the second half, but regain control of the lead here.
And they did it by inside power. Now, Traylor still in the ball game. They're able to sit Taylor down for a while. You've got to think of stamina. Now, Mike Krzyzewski has countered that out, coming back with Domzalski. So he's had to go to his bench. So far, that bench from Michigan far superior, particularly inside power. Go opposite Newton. He doesn't see Capel open. Newton waited too long. Jim, you see Capel wide open on the opposite wing. And if you're going to hold it and get double teamed, there's no place to make the pass. You've got to think pass as soon as he catches it. Tough shot. Trailer again, shocking everybody inside.
Ward with a 2-on-1. Baston called against Duke.
Well, we talked about Duke getting out on the break, but there was Ward, Baston, and Trailer leading the break. All the big guys, all three of them. Here you can see Trailer coming down behind Ward. And there's Baston. No guards in the play at all. Three big guys hustling down the court.
Chris Collins, after a little breather, comes back. Baston to the line for two. He set the all-time Michigan field goal percentage mark last year as just a freshman. He broke Lloyd Hawk's mark. Got 67% from the field.
Jim, that was the first free throw today that didn't look like it was solid for Michigan. As the game's going down the wire here, getting close to the 10-minute mark, let's see if that free throw shooting deserves it or keeps going solid as it has.
Got that one to go. He's 8 for 8 from the field today, 19 points.
Michigan keeping that full court pressure up, not letting Duke get anything quick. Really forced that one a little bit.
Newton puts it back up. He hasn't missed from the field for that matter. He's 4 for 4. You go back to the game against South Carolina State earlier this week.
Is somebody hurt here? What? That should be Duke's ball. Let's see. Baston and Hurt, but still that ball should belong to Duke.
Now Michigan maintaining they blew the whistle first to get Baston off the floor with the injury.
No, we'll see this right here. Newton goes up for the shot. Baston gets a little bit hurt on this play going down. But Michigan had the ball out of bounds, Jim. They did not call timeout. We won't get a chance to see the whole sequence, but I think Mike Krzyzewski's right. That ball belonged to Duke University.
Baston goes out of the game, and Michigan gets to keep it. Newton was 10 out of 11 earlier this week, so he's made, 14 of his last 15. Right block.
Not a good shot by Ward.
2 to tie, 3 for the lead, with 10 minutes remaining in the game.
Boy, Taylor really went down hard on the floor. He's back running okay, though. Nice. Backdoor cut by Capel.
Newton and Domzalski both were there. And Wojciechowski called for the hold. Well, we've got the CBS Sports Show after Duke and Michigan. Fire on Ice. Preview of the Canadian Professional Skating Championships. Plus ice dancing competition. Plus the Ford Taurus College Football Today. Coming up next on the CBS Sports Show.
Set up by Michigan. Boy, a lot of movement on that offensive play by the 4 players without the ball, so there wasn't any help for Wojo on that drive. Nice job by Conlon.
Capel got stuck wisely inside. Domzalski.
Good look, wasn't it?
Really?
He was up for the shot. Domzalski did the smart thing, too. He kept his eye on the man with the ball instead of turning his head, assuming it would be a shot.
Ward to the line for 2. That was a quick decision by Capel.
Normally you see, particularly from a freshman ball player, he just assumes his teammate's going to shoot the ball. He turns his head and the ball gets thrown off his back.
Rice and Moore come back. A lot of people have been wondering when would Duke return to the Final Four in the national championship game. Well, they did this weekend. Duke's soccer team knocked off 4-time defending national champion Virginia 3-2 in the semifinals last night. And Duke will play Wisconsin tomorrow for the national championship.
So there you had the University of North Carolina women getting upset. Notre Dame comes out there as a champion, and then the longtime Virginia Cavaliers with their coach now moving on to both the Olympics and professional ranks. Trailer sitting down, an ankle kicking up on him a little.
Ward, who struggles at the line.
Not today. Now, Jim, we think about the battles of the 90s between these two teams. But back in 63 and 64, Duke came up here, got beat by Michigan, but then they faced each other again in the Final Four, and Duke were able to retaliate and knocked off Michigan. That was the Jeff Mullen days.
So after Ward, only a 40% free throw shooter, hits 2. Michigan leads by 4 with possession.
Good double team that time by White and Bullock. Two freshmen doing a lot of good things out here.
Ward, 3.
4-point lead. You can get something better than that, particularly when you're controlling things down inside.
That's going to be on Bullock. And that's only the 4th team foul.
They've got Bullock, White, Traylor. And, Jim, you know, you've got 3 freshmen that came in. Of course, this club lost 3 guys. Bobby Crawford transferred out to Rice, Njai to UNC, and then Oliver St. John transferred out as well. So they lost 3 guys that would have been important to this ball club.
All of them could have been playing here.
Yep.
Olivier St. Jean, in fact, will see action starting next week for San Jose State. That's when he's able to return to the floor. Taylor blocked by Newton from behind.
Second block by Newton against Taylor, and he got it again.
Oh. Look at this work. Newton got him on the arm.
That was 5 putbacks for Michigan. Duke just too small to handle him inside. Newton doing a terrific job. He gets 1 block here. But watch, that's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. Finally a foul. We saw a sequence just a little while ago in which Michigan had 6 for a putback.
Taylor with 2. He can tie his career high, Billy, if he makes them both. He already had Baston with a new career high. It's interesting. I know this is a young team, but a lot of these players like Ward, Taylor, Baston, Conlon played last year. You know, Taylor, with 23 as his career high, was the highest career high any player had on that Michigan team, which means no one had ever really exploded for a game before.
So they share a lot of minutes. Michigan ball. Good block out by White. You know, that club last year, they were 17 and 14, lost out in the first round to Western Kentucky, finished tied for 3rd in the Big Ten, and set a Big Ten defensive record for stops that held their opponents to 39% in the league.
Newton underneath.
Mike Krzyzewski saying, finally, we got a rebound on the defensive end. And within a 3, you're tying it up. It's kind of amazing, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Seems like Michigan just dominating the game.
Very feisty today. And here you go for the tie, Collins.
The legs get a little tired. That 3 doesn't go down. He's put in a lot of minutes here. A lot of tough minutes. Good hands.
Wraparound foul called on Taylor. Michigan's only made 1 of its last 8 shots from the field, and that was the dribble drive by Conlon. So 4 on Taylor. That's a huge foul. Michigan leads by 3.
What you said, 18-point and a 21-point advantage at both ends and a 3-point differential in the game. Exactly what the 2 coaches anticipated and what we look forward at the top of the show. A perimeter game against an inside game.
Taylor, by the way, out with the 4 fouls. So Fisher sits him. Capel didn't have to tie it.
Didn't have the ball in his hands.
Newton. Baston on his back. Newton boxed out. Traylor had the position there.
That was a case where Capel anticipated the pass, but he didn't have it seated in his hands, and he was going up for the jump shot. Big Ten struggle a little bit, that Purdue-Villanova game.
How about Louisville today? Really toppling Texas. big number by 23. Newton's missed all 3 from the line today.
Jim, that Purdue club have a chance to go, what, for 3 straight Big Ten championships? That's right. They never seem to get full credit nationally for what they do.
So Newton hurt him at the line that time. He's missed all 4 of his chances today. 7 minutes, 2 seconds remaining.
Duke gave Michigan a little bit of their own that time by double teaming on the low post. Man out of bounds. Tough with that big screener inside.
Capel got a hand on it. Duke almost stole it. Aston. First it looked like Newton had rejected it.
Double clutch by Baston inside.
He is 9 for 9 from the floor. One more and he'll pull off a Leitner. Capel on the floor. Conlon ties him up, but the arrow belongs to Duke.
Here we'll see good passing on the inside. Catch off the chest. Now watch Baston when he goes up. The shot is blocked. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to double clutch it. Bring it back down and then a soft touch. Very nice. Newton is right there. Excellent defensive move. Still gets his man to score on it.
And you were checking out his sleeve size.
Yeah, I tried to get it. Nobody would tell me yet, but I've got to figure, what is it, Jimmy? You got it?
It came by 48.
48. Well, he doesn't find those in any stores that we go into. 48. Just think about that.
Rice. Last touch by Newton.
Oh, the referee's looking for help. Traylor did a good job again with that wide body down inside.
5-point Michigan lead.
Big basket right here. Michigan had a chance. Michigan with a chance to really extend a lead that would be not a great number of points, but in this stage.
And they got it from Albert White.
A good timeout by Duke because they're in serious trouble here.
We'll continue after this message and a word from the local station.
It was an opportunity for Michigan to blow this game open, Jimmy. Thought one more possession, they were in business.
Baston, there's his first miss. And it's Duke ball.
Might have been one of the few times that Baston had an easy shot. Didn't have a double bucket.
Ward comes in, and there's Taylor, 23, with the 4 fouls. Traylor and White return to the bench.
20-second timeout. This one by Steve Fisher.
Well, that was a big turnaround at both ends of the floor after that Duke timeout.
Well, you know, Jim, one of the things that coaches really don't get enough credit for is that feel of the game, and Mike Krzyzewski certainly has it. That's why he's been so successful. He sensed it and took control of the game with that timeout.
Who will be the victor today? Michigan last beat Duke 6 years ago today. And Duke has won 6 matchups since that time, including the 92 championship game.
Sean Higgins having a big game in that one.
That was a shootout, too.
Oh, good hands, right.
3 to tie. Collins drives in this time. Moore on the follow-up. 2 big baskets by Tony Moore.
Pretty good catches by Moore in that sequence because those balls were rocketed off the backboard.
4.5 to go. A 1-point game.
Gotta think of Taylor getting the ball some, huh, Jim?
Well, he was out so long.
Yeah, I think they got to get him. Let him get a touch or two.
It's Baston instead. Baston battling and pushed by Capel.
Now we're going to see the free throw.
1 and 1.
That is 4 on Capel. And it's a 1 and 1. Actually, they call that in the act of shooting.
I think it should have been.
Arvin Wallace comes back for Duke.
When your team enters a game shooting 57% as a team, free throw shooting that last 5 or 6 minutes is really critical. Let's see what happens here.
They call it 1-and-1, Billy. There you go. Baston.
He loves the double clutches.
And that great reach paid off that time.
That bad blocking out by Duke. You got a poor free throw shooting team there. You got to anticipate the miss.
75-72 Michigan. Collins.
Too hard a pass.
Wallace on the floor.
How about that?
Moore call it. Timeout called by Tony Moore. He saw Wallace on the floor in trouble. Michigan had the arrow, and they called a timeout.
Mike Krzyzewski, I think, wanted the foul. See, instead of saying we didn't need the timeout, should have been a foul on the play.
So that was a 20-second timeout call. Oh, we got the CBS Sports Show coming up after Duke and Michigan. We've got figure skating and also a little college football to talk about.
Jim, one of the things, and it happens a lot, when you call a 20-second timeout, you're coming right back out. They only have 19 seconds on the clock. Sometimes, you know, you forget about that. They've got to move right into an offensive set in a hurry here. Not a lot of time to waste. They go 1-4 for Price. He loves that spin-around move. Very difficult to handle.
He's a smooth player. And he cuts that lead down to 1 again.
But he was off the real stardom last year until he hurt that ankle and missed 4 games in December. Never really did recover.
He has 15 today. Baston. Here's Taylor touching it.
It's a foul. But it puts Newton on the line, who's had a hard time from the line today, Jim.
0 for 4 at the line. And he'll have a 1-on-1 situation.
Duke with a chance to go into the lead. 3 minutes ago, I thought that Michigan was in a position to pull this game right out.
Duke with a heavy Big Ten schedule early. This is the 4th Big Ten foe for the Blue Devils, having beaten Iowa and Indiana, losing to Illinois.
Jim, it's so great to see these coaches and these programs taking on all comers. I mean, November, December is just exciting basketball now.
Michigan calls a timeout, full timeout. When we come back, Greg Newton will have a 1-on-1. If he makes a both, Duke will take the lead.
Par for NCAA championships. And by MCI's Friends and Family. You get friends and family, you get savings. Simple.
Greg Newton at the line, shooting 1-on-1, 64% on the season before today, but he's missed all 4 of his attempts.
And Jim, just as I said down the other end, when you got a poor free throw shooter, anticipate the miss. Got to be big blocking out by Michigan.
3:19 remaining. Duke has come back from 7 down to tie it, and now can take the lead.
Go back to that timeout that man called. 7-point Michigan lead. Looked like they were going to blow things open. He calmed everything down. Long.
9-2 Duke since Mike called that timeout with 6 minutes remaining in the game. Taylor.
Nice call by Steve Fisher to get the ball to his ace. He was triple teamed.
He's been silent here since picking up his 4th.
Well, he sat a long time. You know, he really got out of the flow of the game.
3:06 to go. Bullet, three-pointer.
Going against his body down in the corner. Huge. Capel left open, nobody on him.
Capel right back to Tompkins.
That was a mistake by Michigan. There was no matchup there. Capel wide open.
Capel has hit 3 threes in this half. We've had 13 ties and 17 lead changes.
There's the a double team on Taylor. Now he needs to get rid of that ball. Somebody's open.
12 on the shot clock. Conlon gets the screen.
Maceo Baston coming out there, realizing the clock winding down. Great solid screen.
Michigan hits 2 in a row. Duke hit 1, but now they turn it over. Cable lob it to Newton.
Eye contact. Cable gave it away.
Baston open.
You know what, Jim? I don't think I'd ever try to block his shot because he double clutches him and does a great job with it.
83-78 Michigan.
And they drop back a little. Let's see, they go a little zone on him.
Whiskey Price.
They've gone zone. Walk.
Duke gets the loose ball again. Capel. Newton on the back. Boy, they had their chances on that possession.
They really did. And Capel did the right thing. He was wide open for the jumper where you'd like to have it. 2 great plays by Conlon there. Hits the jumper and then makes the very smart play to knock away the pass inside on the lob.
Tonight on CBS, James Seymour stars in Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Then it's Touched by an Angel and Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Rangers, starting tonight at 8 o'clock right here on CBS. Marvin Wallace back to the bench with 3. Taylor at the line. It's 2 the rest of the way. Only it's reached 10 team fouls.
51% free throw shot.
I said to Steve Fisher, what will it take for this team to possibly make a run at a Final Four? He says we've got to have a team with good, reliable decisions, and we've got to make our free throws.
Particularly, Jim, this team that's so strong in the paint, you know they're going to go to the line a lot. Taylor, Traylor, Baston. They've got to be able to hit.
Taylor has tied his career high, now with 23.
6-point lead. Too early to think. Strictly threes.
Newton underneath. Capel set up for him beautifully. And 1.
Odd way to get a 3, isn't it? You're better off letting him make that shot and not commit the foul because they had the 6-point lead. Duke would need 3 possessions if it's just in 2.
Pretty unselfish position. If Collins could have hired a 3, gave it up to Capel. Thought about it. Now he takes it.
Unbelievable. He was actually off balance. Jimmy only had 1 foot that lifted him on that shot.
How about the look in his eye? Chris Collins has tied this game at 84.
Solid screens inside. Taylor's got it where he wanted it.
Taylor short. Bullock underneath is foul.
They got their best free throw shooter on the line.
Ooh.
Jim, watch the balance. Collins is actually was off balance on that jump shot and still made it. He's having a great game, great season so far, and even he's excited about that one.
I think so.
Now Bullock on the line. Great stroke on his shot, actually shooting under 80%. You expect that to be a lot higher.
Collins with 27. And Bullock to shoot a couple. That was a big rebound.
And
Duke had it gotten the rebound, could have gone for the last shot.
Shot clock will be off now. So 2 will not help. You go back to the LSU game the other night. LSU had a chance to put that away by making free throws. They don't. Bullock gets the rebound, goes the length of the court, and with 3 seconds, comes off with a 1-point winner.
I got it. Michigan lead. Timeout called by Michigan. So 31 seconds remaining. 86-84 Wolverines. 86-84 Michigan, with Duke now possession of the basketball, 2 to tie, a 3 can win it.
Jim, in 1993, you remember the cardiac kids of Michigan, their last 9 games, right going through the NCAA tournament, 4 they played in overtime, they won all 4. You think overtime here, if I'm Duke, I'm going to get dribble penetration and try to kick it on out to Capel or to Collins. Price with a dribble penetration. Try to win this thing on the road.
How long do they wait before they shoot it here?
Oh, I think they want to take it down to get something close to the last shot. Only if you get something real wide open early.
That shot partially blocked by Baston.
That wasn't it.
And a foul on Duke. Baston got a fingertip on the 3.
If you're going for the win, okay, on a 3, I think you want to go inside 5 seconds. You know, why take it at 16? This was not the shot that you want. The Baston coming out there did a good job. I think you get penetration and then kick out. Because with a 2 on penetration, they could have tied and gone overtime. But you want it down the wire. The more possessions, the more it favors Michigan.
Conlon to the line for 2. 16 seconds to go. Well, he kept Duke in it.
Well, now you still have a chance to tie with a 3. That was such an important. They could have had it at 4. And Duke would have required 2 possessions. Short. I mean, you need the 3 to tie now. Collins wide. Much too soon.
7 seconds to go. He was on fire, but the last 2 seem to be out of touch on the last 2.
Not good decisions, Jim. Not good decisions on either one.
So timeout called by Duke. We'll be right back.
Oh, it's Bullock. So don't let him touch the ball. If possible, try to put Baston on the line.
Or Taylor, who's only a little over 50%.
Well, he got him shooting a free throw. Bullock. But you've got to foul if you do. Get it up quick. You got to foul. 7 seconds, still enough time. Baston on the line.
They called a foul at the other end. And it's, again, a 2-shot situation the rest of the way. 20 more. Rebound at the other end. Now it's a 4-point difference.
Duke's got to get it down, go for 2, and foul immediately, and try to get Baston back on the line again. I mean, you got to play the percentages.
Newton, but Duke running out of time.
Get it up.
Just a second to go. There you have it. Michigan prevails today, 88-84. The genuine Chevrolet players of the game are Chris Collins from Duke with 27 points. Maceo Baston from Michigan, career high, 26 on 11 out of 13 from the field. In celebrating its 25th year of NCAA sponsorship, Chevrolet donates $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those.
We'd like to welcome those of you just joining us. This is the first